there, but the Bazon to support, not the best range.
Yeah, absolutely running low on ammo as well. And I mean, for Alpha 7, they've had to back off because it's danger close on the other side with Regnum Kaya pushing up that way. Got intense game playing around Hospital. Typically, Regnum Kaya is quite good at playing this position, where they hold a lot of space and just create problems for you. It's very central right now as well, so I don't think many teams are too unhappy with their spot for Alpha 7. They're dropping smokes right now, trying to get away. I think they're happy to just give this corner of Everest over towards AX. They don't want to get caught in the crossfire between two teams.
Quite a nice shot from Henry there. Good distance on it. Looked like the Mini 14 getting a tag from the sideline. It's Mafioso. So they are able to back themselves up. Of course, tons of cover to work with on this. She's not going to eat damage from the front line. Mafioso as well can kind of hold Edgard in this, get a bit of a read on where they're going.
Yeah, your only difficulty, right, is you're getting pincered a little bit if you're Alpha 7. It takes a lot of coordination to realize where you are. For AX, they're in a slightly worse scenario where there's a lot of sightlines looking up towards that location. You can get pushed easily and then you become the pincered team. Typically, if no one heads up here, Alpha 7 does need to be very careful about this southwest side of Everest. Regnum Kaya, that's going to play it slow. Yep, absolutely don't want to be doing that. I think you did see Korea that actually go down to scout the building that currently Regnum Kaya have held. And it's a good spot. It's a very, very good spot to play, quite open around there. You do have this little ridge side here, which prevents you from taking shots to teams that do situate themselves on this locale, but this is going to provide information back fairly quickly to Korea if Regnum Kaya ever want to push.
Meanwhile, you get the POV as well. Nice little establishing shot here with the rotate for Horror Esports. Yeah, another team that I think, you know, we've seen a lot of good telltale signs, especially in that last game, some of the heads-up fights they went for. No Fear was making some nice plays. I think Sky as well, like the close range combat, dude, he was thriving. It felt like he was just kind of, you know, bring me more, bring me more.
No Fear's has his moments, right? And I think this guy's able to capitalize on them quite a lot. But yeah, No Fear's been opening up a lot of opportunities for this team. I think they fell off quite a large amount towards the end of group stage. Weren't able to quite maintain pace with some of the other teams who were just living in large, right? Alter Ego were living their movie throughout the entirety of that one. I think for Horror, they just weren't able to match that. I think here in this type of lobby, it's a much easier locale to really display some of that strength that they have. Now this is an awkward one. You can see a tons of team on the western side of this circle. You're pushing out over towards open ground, over towards Pachinki. Don't necessarily want to head over towards one of those cities nice and early here. But for your team vision, I think heading over towards Church right now, getting that high ground set up, you could easily go for something like that. You won't want Fireflux coming in from that eastern side to pick that one up too quickly. So yeah, I think for Team Vision, it is just a case of getting Vision over towards Church, making sure it's not taken, because it is an astronomical amount of teams that are on the western edge.
R8 as well, thrown into a potential bout between Influence Rage there, down towards the roadside. Marazin set up a couple shots back over Prestige, taking a hefty hit from Law, bringing down the gavel on that one. And again, you know, we already saw R8, it was frustrating. Their outing in the first game, it hit them heavy. The headsets were thrown off, the team was dejected instantly. So being able to at least withstand an opening pick here and bring yourself back into it, that's going to do more for the men. They do lose Prestige, he's fully taken out, get the response back over, so 3-3 left on the player count there between them and Influence.
Yeah, Law gets repealed, and like you say, it's a case of we went 3 for 3, right? I think us losing one player, you losing one player, can't be too unhappy with that one. At least it doesn't go unanswered, right?
Yeah.
But alright, if it went unanswered after that last game where they barely got to play, you're feeling so cold going into that third match. It's very rough. So they have to play in this game for a good 10 minutes from now if they want to get some more of that practice in. You hope they've been doing over the past break day, or maybe they're taking a bit more of a relaxer. But wait and see. Horror over towards the east, coming in through from Pachinki. Yangon Galacticos down towards the south side though. See if they actually do end up battling against one another. And I think they do have a player nice and up in front to hold those players out. Horror's going to have to go for something very quick here.
Could be an interesting head-to-head as well. Both of those teams have been playing with the pace a fair bit throughout the games we've seen from them. I think for Horror as well, you know, a lot of question marks. They play a little bit too passive at times, but they've been able to switch it on when they need to.
pretty rough position going through this field. A lot of sidelines available over towards it. It's a little bit later in the game now, so not as many teams will be holding this. So they're just going to head over towards the south side of Pachinki. I think that's fair enough. They checked the buildings down towards that south side where Yangon Galacticos currently ended up, and they didn't fancy that smoke. So sending over towards that south side, taking the gamble on that one that no one's picked up for the meantime. They can potentially hold out R8 here, but it looks like R8's heading further down over towards Yangon Galacticos, which might have been a mistake for them. But next circle coming through. Ouch.
Whoa,
Straight down towards the fields.
Open field
Teams
में
got
fight
plant
होने वाला
themselves
है.
in here.
Hope someone comes along to water you to sprout into a chicken dinner. Kind of combining the analogies there. Don't know if that one really lands.
A bountiful harvest.
No, there you go.
Yeah.
It's true. Some nice potato growth.
Chicken and potato. We like it. We like it.
Hey,
lot
that's
of
a whole
teams-
dinner.
That is a whole dinner. A lot of teams moving in though, over towards this field. You don't have much choice right now. This is going to have to be a fast migration from a lot of teams. You are burning rubber to get here. But where in here do you go? There's not a lot of options.
Yeah, limited space with a lot of squads to try and balance this out between them.
It's actually a great rotate from Falcons. I'm actually very pleased with this. This is fast. They're into a nice spot. Actually, this is one of the better rotations I've seen Falcons make, because this is a team that frustrates me so much because they'll see it. Never mind. Valo, come on! They'll see it. They'll see a location on the map that's free, and they just refuse to take it. Honestly, fair play to these three players that made it through, because this is a good spot. They had to be quick about it. Yeah, sure, maybe Valo lost a tire. That's why he goes down there, and you can sort of respect the fact that they actually went for this for the first time in forever instead of sitting out on the edge. I am pleased. I sound angry. I am pleased. I'm pleased. I'm very, very pleased, in fact.
He's smiling. He's smiling whilst he says it. I can attest to that. Get a shot into the back line there as well of AX. Meanwhile, Hora in the rear, just trying to get vision down. A couple of bullets being fired out by Sleepy and Sky. That's Fireflux, of course, that took the opening chicken dinner of the survival stage.
It looks like they're healthy for it. Right? They're giving it this game. They are over towards that northeast side though, and Horror currently has that high ground against them, but plenty of little cover to play around with. This little ridge side as well is a nightmare to assault. I think Horror sent a player far down towards the south though, who might be able to take some shots through. That's no fear. Still, it's not easy to thread the needle if you want to find a pick off. Either way, no fears creates space for them to push through in the end. Kino Trope. Not a bad location from them, very, very central. Honestly, I would be very, very happy to see Falcons do well this game. But with Gamax on the north side, who have caused them problems multiple times in the past, we'll have to wait and see. But we'll put a pin in that one.
Devotee, I think revive हो जाएंगे.
It's Alpha 7. We do get the shots off with a Mini 14 at least back onto AX. The arena similarly nipping at the heels on the chase there. Seems like Lil Boy goes down to Kino Trope. He was able to find that shot towards Narvalo moments ago when they went for the reposition towards the compound where Gamax were holding.
These are some brutal circles, Jackie. It's very brutal. Kind of the Crescent Moon on the eastern side, just filled with fields, and then kind of open area. The grasslands over towards the western edge. It's a bit bumpy though. And there is some tree lines to work with. I think intense game does find a nice little neat moment. Squeeze through the gap on that west side, but I think they're likely wanting to be holding out those teams like E Arena, who would be likely coming from that compound on the west.
Heads on a swivel here for Fireflux as well. Found a stab back over towards Vision. They would take that man down, out of commission. Still looking for more, potentially reposition back over from Scarface onto Hora. Meanwhile, on our screens here, you can see the nades being cast out down towards intense game. The Dolphins have got to make a move quick.
It's one shot.
He couldn't quite land it though.
Madness. Sleepy does go down. Scarface actually pushes really far out towards the eastern side. It's a nice pickup from him. I don't think he needs to push this too far though. He can probably come back towards the team. He's just making sure that Sleepy ends up in the blue. And he can confirm that, which he will do now. Intense game, lobs, nades, too close. And then too far, and then yet again too close. So the geometry on that one, not great.
More shots into Horror as well. Obviously Firefly setting themselves up after picking off one player with the aggro push from Scarface. Everyone else just being able to shoot towards them as they have to bail quite a far distance in open ground.
What is the options here, Jack?
Just run, man. Head held down.
Falcons do catch off one of the players in Sky. He was getting a little bit too close for comfort for them. But they're going to hold this position. The circle going north as well. Good for Falcons. More time spent in this compound means more time at safety. Silas is able to find AEX, but Silas will get taken out by Intense Game, giving them no chance to pick their player back up again. They had a 2-2 split going on. Wild wasn't able quite to grab him. I say long shot, by the way, down that south side versus Alpha 7, and they find him.
Yeah, that was the steal away from E-Arena as well, even off the back of the knock from R8 there. So Alpha 7 feeling a little bit uncomfortable. Obviously Intense Game similarly in the angle to work with.
Yeah.
Okay. In the angle to work with.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't really know why he was peeking that in the first place. Like, they've got to think about what they need to do next, and R8 has to move in. Like, there's limited time that they can take that long angle on the western side. I just don't think Mafioso had to make that peak, especially when he's placed himself on the hard edge of the blue as well, where the north side can see you. Not enjoyable. Yeah, I don't see them lasting very long here.
Now, it was a nice attempt on the rescue mission, I'll give him that. Obviously, for what it is, though, Squash is able to lock this angle down. He's been really crisp as well. Good tracing. You can see even from distance, able to keep on target. Obviously, you run the risk of going for the save on your teammate. Instead, both you go down because of it. So again, it's a really brutal game for R8. Meanwhile, here, we can see E-Arena on the crash down. They're going to see if they could shut down Intense Game. Flashbang right in the corner. Keep you concussed. The shotgun comes out. Joker trying to make things work, and they will do just that. Goodbye, Intense Game.
8 elims again for E-Arena. Weird moments where E-Arena like has these cool plays, but then will completely cool off. The engine will stall, and we see if that happens right here, right now versus Alpha 7s. They make their way up. They hear the fighting. It's a good opening knock, and they're sending more in. What are you doing? Oh, let him crawl in at least.
So grouped, they give that one up basically for free with the shrapnel being thrown over from Alpha 7. Al-Haji even taking pot shots from the side now, got an angle on the top of the ridge. The nade follow-up, that should basically be E-Arena completely blown to bits. I mean, you've got one guy, it's just Joker trying to get away. Everyone else in a horrific position.
It's a good clean up onto Intense Game, but if you're E-Arena there, now's not the time to start looting up. It's the time to get going. Right, you got to figure out your next move. Teams are moving in from your south side. You should know that from that compound that was sat underneath them. Tony K goes down to Al-Haji, who's bringing the pain in this game. In the meantime, most teams are on the outer edge. There's not a lot of area to play. You can see here, it is just barren ground. And that bountiful harvest we were talking about earlier might not be quite coming through for a lot of our teams.
Oof. Koa getting the spot there on towards Solus. Damage back over from Power as well. As Fahedin's able to show his impact to Power Gaming, revving the engines, keeping the momentum going. For R8, they did get the revive back up onto the knocked players. There is still 2 alive in commission. That was Marth with the heads-up maneuver to keep him up whilst the attention was turned from Alpha 7. And of course, on that E-Arena crash that we saw moments ago.
For R8, they made it a fair way into this game. I think they had to. They needed something to give themselves a little bit of confidence going into the next matches after that first one where it looked brutal for them. It looked absolutely brutal. Power in the meantime, though, like a locust over on this western side, the map ruining all of our crops, realistically. Making one shot after another at stragglers. The more they clear on the western side as well, the more strength they'll have in towards that end game. It looks like Easy's going to scout down over towards Alpha 7 here. We're getting peppered.
And this is that split from Reg and Karia that aren't actually in a bad position whatsoever. You can see the bullets over from Bloxy. He's got them pinned in. Marv trying to take a couple of shots from the side as well, see if he can steal away anything from this. Revo's realizing, man, like the entire team is just being cauterized. You can't get towards one another. You are trapped in position. Marv getting the headshot on that as well, coming back to haunt them. They threw the first stone at R8, but instead that's just fragmented the entire team for a late game finish on this one.
Ida getting knocked there out in the open. Again, for Korea, respect their attempt. I mean, he had to get out there, couldn't wait around for the vehicle to pop. It would have taken his life. He's managed to crawl all the way across the Revo, though.
Kind of impressive. He's actually made it that far.
Yeah, it's a good smoke train. Eden goes for a blind nade. A guess on it. Just having a look at the smokes. Toshbik goes down, as does Loxy. That's a double knock on the nade. Wild's not there to assist, and this should be a free and easy maneuver coming through. That must have been directly through those slits on the top of the shack there as well. What a nade that comes through there. Oh, yeah, I think you leave him. I think you leave him. I think if you're Wild, you're looking for a survival game. I don't even know why you bothered.
You got to know when to cut your losses on that one.
Yeah. No one to fold him.
Exactly, man. Can't be going for these gambles right now. This is not the time to do it. I mean, at least with the reset, obviously, you've got the two players from Alpha 7. They were able to get the pick back up in Korea so they can play off one another, but they have to just bail. The position was compromised for so long. Kenotrope inside of the slight hut there. Back towards the hovercraft. Tuck in, see if they could steal that one. Key still in it. Nade over the top, just into the back line. If that's on target, it could be uncomfortable, and they're pinned in at least. You got the flames in front of them, the nade over the backside. Hora getting hit by Easy as well, makes that look easy.
Update, Korea goes down. Just Revo's still up. Nongshin Red Force in the back lines as well, taking shots. Some good nades, some good ordnance coming through from Kenotrope to keep them at bay. In the meantime, Falcons will have to deal with Gamax on this north side eventually. They played a slow game with one of the only teams that had a compound for this long, but they need to step up now. All right, versus Gamax, this is where they need to win this fight. I think it would be a crying shame if they lose this engagement.
It's insane as well that like Fireflux have just been able to set themselves up and live their movie. Just sit pretty consistent damage down. Obviously you had Alpha 7 trapped, so that's just a free elim. They're able to take away that team. And they have been sharing this land for so long. I mean, Gamax have basically been sat here with two players for an absolute age.
I get that they were wanting to wait for the pushes to come through, but I do think they could have held off on those nades a little bit. But I think Falcons just wanted to confirm their cause on this north side. It sort of makes sense. They will have to move down now. It really depends on how aware they are of the rest of the circle. Like, what's the scenario? What's the situation? Have they been keeping tabs? This is a long ramp from Koa over towards Power, which I personally think is really dangerous.
Yeah, this is kind of insane. Honestly, this is a Power that look really strong in this match especially. They've been playing some great PUBG Mobile. The fights they've been taking, it's heads up, it's quick decision making, they're relying on one another. Push into this, you better be ready, Blank.
Yeah, it's nice. It's very nice. I will say, though, from Koa, the wrap he made on at least his hillside, quite safe to go for, but he does not give a damn. Koa is dragging the team at times, kicking and screaming into these locations. And if it's the case that Ralph's making these calls, Koa is absolutely on the money when it comes to it. He's like, you want me to go scout that? I'll do it right now. No hesitation. And that's an initial knock coming through over towards Ragnar.
Yeah, that might have thrown you a bone. That's from R8 as well. So it's R8 being able to get the shot into the back line. They could engage off of this. It'd be the opportunity to go for it. Obviously, you can get that player back up pretty quickly, though. They're giving them time to work with on this. They've got a little bit of cover for it.
Yeah, they have to move down. But I think they understand that for Power, they've got to move first. Likely they'll send south, which I think Easy's doing right now. Kenotrope's just been living inside that shack for a long, long time. No one's been able to get close enough to send nades in. It is very much in the open. 2 loot crates to work with, though, for Fireflux, so they get a gift from up on high.
It's tight on the elims as well. 7 for Power, 6 for both Nonshin Red Force and Fireflux. You feel like they basically just had freedom to wait for the push to come towards them. Easy set up with a bit of paranoia about Marth's angle. He knows where he is now off the back of the shots that were fired over. Just the risky run of leaving yourself exposed from the back.
Doxy's gonna move, and soon. Ralph knows it, just hold the angle. Has a rough idea now where the other players are. From Fireflux at least. Pass that information back across. We'll take this shot, and he was just looking off to the right. Oh, caught slacking. Ketch will pick up that elim. They could crash this if they wanted. I think they'd much rather get rid of Power though first.
Still the move Power have been making. You'll the push back over onto Marth. You steal away the bit of cover from him for now. Still 3 players alive. Getting a lot of reads onto this. Attention being drawn over towards Fireflux as well from the majority of the squads. And the Kenotrope still just being able to live on borrowed time. Just sat tucked in, dropping the smokes, keeping it uncomfortable for teams to get close.
Again, I think what's happening right now is the nades used by Falcons versus Gavax, which I think was unnecessary. They were going to go down at some point either way, as that blue pushed them out. Koa does find Ketch. What a shot. And what a timing on it. No one goes down, and they can crash it. I think they have to crash it. Ralph's going to send it first here. Dropping as much medication as possible. Complete misread on the angle. Has to be happening from Redox. Koa's left behind, and Matcap lives this one out.
Oh, man. The shots from the side from Kenotrope are huge as well to buy time, and this comes back to bite them in the bottom. I mean, you can get the res back up, get him in position. They've still got a good angle to fight with on this one. Fragments them massively. And for Power, they might be in a spot to potentially steal some of this away. You got the scout from Vahidan at least looking for the read back over.
I'm just not entirely sure what the idea was. I think they'd bought themselves some time, in which case they could start looking out over towards Power. They didn't even bother to try and scout those players. Ketch is going to send out of the way, immediately ducks down, M79 in the hands, but it will be Ragnar to find those shots, just barely clipping him through the grass. I don't know why Ralph would have wanted that angle in the first place. Like, where do you go from there? I think your only option was to wrap west.
Yeah. For Fireflux, it was awkward as well. The supplies were running so low. He had no shells left for that. So when he drops, couldn't fire out smoke to shroud himself. Both of them now go down. You're out of commission, leaves us with a final 3. Koa barely crawling into the zone, belly on the ground, looking for the angle towards Kenotrope. Oh, the timing!
So exposed. He can take this shack though and play in it. And hope he gets a second. There's a player on his right though, and he does not know.
Ragnar with the angle, nade over the backside, shots at the feet, so low on HP. 1 bullet and a dream is all that he'd need. The peek back up. Oh, the knock on the Ragnar fragments Power, but they've still got the manpower advantage on this one, and it's down to Falcons with just Koa. Peek over the top side, spots the head of Easy, shrouded with the smokes, but bullets coming in from 3 separate angles.
This is a nightmare scenario. Just has to guess the angles. We'll just send back. I mean, well played to Koa. Again, it seems like the player on that team that sort of has his head screwed on a little bit. I don't understand that push from Ralph. I don't know why he'd want that position from Fireflux. Again, he just try and wrap on top of Power. It's an interesting one, Jackie. But again, Falcons do get themselves a second place. I love that they push that position. A lot of times they just won't take those opportunities when they're right in front of them. And this time at least they picked up the leaflet.
Yeah, they bit at it when it was provided. It might not have been as clean as they were hoping for, but I tell you what, for Power, they were mopping up squads like a spilt drink. Some fantastic action on that one. A great second game, an early chicken dinner, and looking more like the Power that we know and love.
It is about time there. But